It was a game changer. And I'd heard that you'd went there.
Yes.
And
she's a good friend of mine.
When I read the end of the book, you talked about beautiful state, suffering
Yes.
state, what I learned.
Yes.
And I love how you share that, you used to talk about, being in peak state as often as you can, but now you really kind of transition into beautiful state, right?
Yeah, well, Krishnaji and I were talking. He said something really beautiful to me. He's a dear friend of mine. I've known him for, I guess, about 15 years. His father is one of the most powerful spiritual teachers in India. Yeah. Oneness, yeah. And so, to give you an idea, he's considered an avatar there. So I went there and they had an opening. Krishnaji helped to organize it. And they expected 250,000 people over 5 days, and 500,000 people showed up the first morning. Wow. So it was like the ultimate craziness, if you imagine. So he's got some really beautiful grounding, and his father is not just a religious man, he's really a spiritual man. He believes whatever you believe is wonderful, but what you have to do is wire your brain so that you're connected to the aspect of your spirit or oneness. And he teaches various ways to do this. So anyway, Krishnaji and I, over the years, have done a lot of fun things together. And this, about 2 years ago, we were having a conversation, and he said, you teach the secret to life is peak state versus lousy state, or being energy rich versus energy poor, that a relationship, you can love somebody, but if the energy's low, it's not going to show up. The energy's high, it will. He said, what if you swap those words and you swap peak state for beautiful state? I said, that works. A high energy state is a beautiful state. Any state where your high energy would be like love or joy or gratitude or drive or courage or faith or, playfulness or fun, any of those things are beautiful states. So he goes, yeah, I agree. And I said, and then suffering states would be low energy states. So that would be frustration, sadness, anger, resentment, loneliness, boredom, whatever. He goes, yeah, that's exactly right. I said, I can swap those. He goes, if you swap them, there's something cool that you might see or do. I said, what's that, Krishnaji? And he said, I've made a decision that I'm going to live my life where I'm going to live in a beautiful state every day, no matter what, even if it rains on my parade, even if people do things that are unjust. And he said, the reason is because in a beautiful state, just like you teach a peak state, everything flows. And I said, well, that's pretty much what I've been teaching.